Good morning. Victor Flores with the Oklahoma Tribal Finance Consortium is our guest this morning. Good to have you in,
Thank you so
Victor.
much, Scott.
I saw this week a presser that was being carried on News 9 News on 6 by app, and I looked down and there are many representatives of our native tribes in Oklahoma, and they're talking about economic development. The numbers were huge. Tell us about that press conference. What was said in that, the study that's being done, and what the numbers are.
Thank you, Scott. So just something super exciting is that our latest study of the Oklahoma Native Economic Impact for FY19 that we just released this past Wednesday showed a $15.6 billion economic impact here in our state. That also, and also inside those numbers are over 113,000 jobs for Oklahomans. And that also equals to over $5.4 billion in wages and benefits. And that's just amazing for our state here in Oklahoma.
I'm going to assume that people look at the number and go, wow, that's because of gaming. Is this all because of gaming?
Absolutely not. And so our tribal nations, they do have gaming, and most Oklahomans, when they think about Indian country, they think about our casinos. But our tribal nations have a very robust avenues of income, and so they also provide health care. They provide other entertainment. They provide, they're into banking. They're in all aspects of industries.
We see that. And let me ask you about health care. I was completely taken by that aspect. I saw Chief Hoskin was talking about how the Cherokee Nation works with Oklahoma State University Medical. We have really bad outcomes in Oklahoma, as you know. How is this impacting those of us who are not native? So
one of the key things about tribal health care, especially here in our state, is that they are positioned in a lot of rural areas. And in that study that you referenced, most of the health issues that we're looking at are in those rural areas. And so our tribal health facilities not only see Native Americans, but they also see non-natives.
So people who are non-natives can access the health care system in the tribal communities.
So it depends. And so there are multiple hospitals and multiple clinics that they are open to all Oklahomans.
Okay.
While some are others to where only employees of tribal nations can go.
This impact to this community, I mean, you've only done this, what, 3 times now that
That's
you've
correct.
had this report. What do you think most people, when you see this and you talk to folks afterwards, are going, I didn't know that? What are some of the lead things there?
So one of the great things is that, from our first study that we released back in 2012 for FY11 to our latest study, that was a 44% increase in our economic output. In regards to jobs, there was a 30% increase. And so what that says is that our tribal nations are strong here in our state, but moreover than that, they are reinvesting their dollars in our Oklahoma communities. And that's what's so exciting about it.
As more people find out about this impact, where do you think that we're headed in terms of just the general population understanding of what the tribes are doing for our state?
So I think that there's an opportunity for Oklahomans and Oklahoma businesses to really look for ways to partner with our tribal nations in our state, much like they've partnered with our Oklahoma communities.
Last question for you is, what's next? When people start to discover what's happening with the tribes, I mean, are they always looking to do business with non-natives?
Absolutely. And so our tribal nations here in our state have always worked with Oklahoma businesses and have always employed Oklahomans, native and non-native. If you look at these numbers from the business perspective, our Oklahoma tribes are the greatest resource we have here in our state.
Victor Flores, thanks for coming in, explaining this
Scott.
report, and we'll see you again soon.
Great, thank you.
See this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.